this week we celebrated Father's Day on Monday, I think. And of course, I had to dedicate this podcast to all my fathers and my men. And it really made me think that there's a lot of stuff for women, a lot of songs, a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos for women empowerment, but we don't have much for men. We don't have a lot of stuff to motivate them. And so it's very, very important that I do that today, because we see where we need men to rise up and take their own role and responsibility in our society. We also see where in the United States our men are being endangered, they're being killed, etc., etc. And it's very important that I dedicate this to all my black men. Now, first of all, I need to give you a little history. And I already see you rolling your eyes and saying, oh, the same slavery story. But listen, when we look at the fact that when we ask ourselves the question, how did we get here? How did we get to the point where our men are no longer in our houses, in our homes? How did we get to the point where they're no longer in our schools and in our churches? And it really, really does go back to slavery. During that time, the white slave owners of the plantation, they would send their black men out in order to impregnate the women from not only their plantation but other plantations. And what would happen to those children is that they would themselves gain additional slaves to work for them for life. And so we see that culture being cultivated even now, where men go around, they impregnate a lot of women, but they're absent from the homes because they weren't taught otherwise. And we have been trailing this down through history, where our men are not taught to be good fathers. They don't know how to stay in the household. And we need to break that cycle. We really need to stop the train of mental slavery. And I've seen that the fact that we don't help them much either. We cuss them out and we tell them all the negative things. But what about the positive things too? What about the things that they do that go unnoticed? We don't celebrate them enough. I need our women to celebrate our men enough. I'm not telling you to stay in a relationship that's abusive or a relationship that makes you unhappy. No, what I'm saying is our women need to, as best as possible, teach our boys to be men. Don't tell them when they come from school, don't ask them, oh, how much girl I get today? You have all of them, my friend my son a gallus. And it's something that you celebrate, because as cute as it is when they're children, they'll grow up to be men that breaks other people's daughter heart. And I'm telling the fathers set a good example for your sons, because I'm saying this with 100% certainty that if it is that you don't set a good example for your son will come out to emulate you. If it is that you go around having a lot of women, they'll think it's right to have a lot of women. If it is that you don't respect women, you don't respect your mother, you don't respect your girlfriend, your baby mother, your wife, they will think this is the right way and they will not respect women. If it is that you don't go for your dreams and your goals in life, they'll think it's okay to fall short and live a life that's half full. And we don't want that for our sons or men. So men, rise up, break the chains of mental slavery. We look at the fact too that our men have become endangered species. And what do I mean by that? When we look around in our schools, even in my classes, you have 4 men to probably 56 women. Or even in my core courses, you have 1 male, St. Alban cousins, to a lot of females. And we find even in our churches, the fact that a lot of men aren't there. And even if men are there, are they capable men? Did we cultivate them enough to take up positions? And we think, do they care about our churches? Do they care about education? And the answer is no. They haven't been motivated enough to care about anything outside of just living life. And we see them, we don't see them in schools, we don't see them in churches, but we do see them in the streets. We see them drinking and smoking their lives away. We see them idling and gambling. We see them riding bikes. We see them on the road, but do we see them where they do matter? That phrase, men are endangered species, was really not mine to begin with. Actually, I'm a very active feminist. I do believe in equity for both genders. But I was having a conversation with a young man and he was saying that, men are a very endangered species because you don't see them where it matters. And at first I was like, no, we see them. And he's like, no, we don't see them where it matters. I was like, yeah, for real. Because in our society, we have a lot of negative things to say about our males, but we don't uplift them enough. We don't empower them enough. We don't teach them and show them that this is the right way. We don't cultivate them to be people of honor. And so when they come out and they don't do the right things, we then are quick to condemn them. And that is why I'm saying, men, you need to rise up. Don't become extinct. You can imagine a society where males are extinct from where it matters. That would be such a horrible place, horrific place to live. Because we will see them on the streets, but we won't see them in church or in jobs or at school. So men, rise up. You're already endangered, but don't become extinct. It reminds me of the fact that we don't teach our boys that it's okay to show emotions. We don't teach them that it's okay to be vulnerable. And when we see them as little boys, as little babies, and they fall down, we say, "Get up, man. You have not to cry for. Don't cry. Men don't cry. Boys don't cry." And they grow up with the notion that it's bad to show emotions, to cry, and they will be labeled as girls if they do express themselves. And they grow up to be men who can't communicate, can't express their emotions, and don't know how to be vulnerable. And that's a culture that we need to stop. We need to allow our men to feel like they can be vulnerable. Create that space where they feel safe to express their emotions. And I'm talking to our women or parents right now. We need to protect them as much as we protect our girls, because that's what equity means. And I don't know if I can say this any louder, but men, you need to rise up. Know that it's okay to be vulnerable. I can't express it more that we need our men in society. We need men to stop being torn down. So black men, elevate other black men. Women, elevate your men. Because in truth and in fact, we can't do without them. Teach your boys to be men. Love, protect them, compliment them a bit more, celebrate them even more. Teach them to rise up, show up, and stand up. We need them. So I have a message from my team that I hope will inspire you and empower you. If you feel that way, leave a comment below. Dear men, we need you.
We need you to protect our daughters and teach our sons to be men too.
We need you to guide us when we get lost, whatever the cost, to lead, to care, or just to be there.
We need you for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. And we need that commitment from your heart.
We need you to be our strength, the shoulder we cry on, so our women don't always have to be strong. We need you to cry on our shoulders too. It's okay to be vulnerable, even just for a few.
We need you to rise up. Take up your God given purpose. Do this for us.
She.
Me.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you.